So the truth is I kind of snapped and I was working a lot. I was told that I was supposed to work within the genre of the profession, and there's a certain way that you have to look at or be like as a professor of business. And that if I don't fit within this particular genre, if I don't do these certain things like spend all my time doing research and being quiet in my own office all by myself, that I wouldn't be considered a very good research person. And it's not from a single individual person, but it's the general mayule of the actual academy. If anybody knows the whole scientific progress or how science actually is you sit in the office by yourself and you study things for a long time. And the truth is I actually snapped. I realized I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that I was sitting in the office all by myself. I am a person, I love people. I like being around people. I want to see people succeed. I want them to do really well. And this time where I was spending all of my thoughts alone in the office made me go a little bit cuckoo, a little crazy. I didn't feel good about myself. And so I thought, why not generate something, create my own life, see how it would look like if I actually intentionally did something and created this life that you're seeing unfold before you, where I get to just simply make other people feel good, where I simply work on other people's problems, where I just simply say, hey, wait a minute, I could be this person that goes around and helps other people out, and I can provide technical solutions to help out other people, but also why not just start doing weird and crazy things where I just start speaking out and I say, hey, you're doing okay, you're a good person, why not just keep working on that good stuff? And I know that seems really strange, but I looked at this problem. I looked at how I felt inside. I looked at the world around me, and this wasn't going to change. And the only way that I was going to change or change the surrounding is if I actually did it myself. And I realize a lot of people can't do this. They get stuck in how they actually feel and where they're going to be and what it actually looks like around them. But I was thinking, wouldn't it be really cool if I was this one person that actually sat down and changed their world around them so that they felt very good, and so that I internalized that. There's a whole bunch of choppers going around. I internalized that, and when you see that happen in front of you, if I was that one person, that one kooky person that saw that there was a problem, that felt that they weren't good inside, and they turned their environment all the way around and turned it into something that was really cool, wouldn't that be an amazing inspirational story for everybody else? If they were the one person that did this, if they looked at the scientific field, for example, or they looked at something that was a really tough problem, like a lot of people not feeling good about themselves. I was looking at the statistic recently, and there is a vast more number of people that actually drop out of PhD studies and research studies than the number of people that drop out of college in the beginning, right? And that doesn't make sense to me. Probably makes sense to other people, but it doesn't make sense to me, because here we are, we're supposed to be training people, and these people are extremely talented that have already made it through a bunch of different hurdles. And we are having this problem where there's lots of people that are dropping out, not feeling good. And even within the field itself, there's a lot of people that feel the way that I feel, that it's alone, a very alone process, or it doesn't feel that good. The whole thing is not so fun. But what if I was the one person that turned this around and not only maybe talked to you and got you to believe that, hey, you could do this too. You can turn your life around. You could do all sorts of really wonderful things. And what's going to happen? What's the worst case scenario that's going to happen? Maybe a lot of people are going to think that you're kooks. Maybe it's going to be hard for me to get jobs anywhere else. But, the best case scenario is that I actually sit down and I revolutionize the scientific field. I change it. I make it such that people are a lot more free to do the things that they want to do, but then at the same time, I actually innovate and create a platform that completely changes science so that lots of people will be able to have this experience where science is really fun in the way that we do it. And I incrementally, maybe even radically, completely change how we do science so that it's a fun experience along the way. And I realize that this is a tall order. I understand that this is a very difficult problem. But here's the cool thing is I got time. I'm still young and I can still do a lot of different things along the way. I realize that this is an incremental, slow process, one little person at a time that I am just reaching. I'm talking to you. Hopefully somebody out there is resonating and they actually can see this and they could say, hey, wait a minute, why can't I do something like that? Why can't I participate? Why can't I actually change the world around me? And I'm going to slowly make that process around me. But as I'm doing this, I realize the biggest person that's changing is not necessarily you, but it's actually me inside. And I thought it was this environment that I had to change, but it was actually me. I'm the one that's realizing that, hey, I can stand up. I could do this. It's not so bad. It's not so hard. It's a little weird. I'm sitting here on a street corner talking to you, but it is something that I can do that can change the world one little time, a little bit at a time. And I could show you as I do this, what this actually looks like. Wouldn't it be a remarkable experience by the time I'm done? And maybe it's 10 years from now, and I bet you it's probably gonna be 10 or 20 years from now, that I completely changed the scientific industry where all of a sudden people are having fun. All of a sudden people are smiling when they're actually doing the research that they're doing. All of a sudden, people have tools available that they didn't have that allows them to do cool and amazing things. Wouldn't that be a cool and an amazing inspirational story? Why can't, if it's not me that's doing this, then who's going to do it? Who's going to stand up and do it? And I encourage you to think about that. If it's not you that's actually going to change something in your life, who is going to do it for you? You have to be the one that stands up and changes yourself from inside. You realize, yes, there are a lot of crappy things in this world. Yes, there are lots of problems, but you can change it. And the way that you change it is you stand up and you get going and you do one little incremental thing every single day. And you do that for a long time. And some of you I know don't have that much to live. Some of you have a very short life that's ahead of them. But it's a life that's worth living if you start living it. If you get down and you start making those little tiny changes every single day, and those little tiny changes are going towards something that you would love, and wouldn't that be a cool experience by the time that this is all done? Maybe I pass away tomorrow, that I tried. And wouldn't that be an amazing experience to tell everybody else? And they could see this, and they could see this great big long history. It's only been 6 years at this moment. That they could see this history, that this weird nut tried to do this. Maybe I could take up his legacy. Maybe I can do this myself and change this around. Isn't that an inspirational story in of itself? I encourage you to go out there and make the changes yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you.